week. I actually went to London for the first time since March last week, and I was just saying actually when we were waiting for everyone, what I found quite odd is after a meeting I had there, which was strange anyway, a face-to-face meeting, very enjoyable. I went to a pub, and frankly, yes, you had to register as you went in, and you had to order at the bar, and then the drink came to your table, but I couldn't really notice anything different. There wasn't that much different, it was fine. The only depressing thing was coming out of South Ken Tube, which at this time of year you can hardly move because everyone's going to the V&A, the Science Museum, the Natural History Museum. But it was absolutely deserted, which was, I felt, rather sad. But on a positive note, I see Merlin, who run the London Eye, Madame Tussauds, Sea Life Centre. They have reopened, and it's sort of taking bookings on a time basis. So I think that's encouraging. Hopefully a lot of people are managing to get a sort of some kind of holiday, a staycation, if they're not cancelled their plans to go to Spain. Then that will hopefully be a boost to the economy, and they'll be staying somewhere, whether it's campsites, hotels, glamping villages, the like. I mean, but it's all going to get the whole hospitality industry, which is so broad and diverse, moving again, which will be fantastic. I think looking ahead, we've got our showcase, not a real showcase, hopefully happening on the 6th of October. And I think we've got now a process to make it just about the safest event that anyone could ever attend. And you've got these screening tunnels now that you walk through. So that combined with temperature checking and all that sort of thing is going to make it events a safe environment. And necessity, I've always said, is the mother of invention, and there are very clever people out there, I don't include myself amongst those, that will come up with the solutions for these things. And I think, hopefully in the autumn, the hospitality industry will be back in business. I feel optimistic about that. I don't think international travel for business is going to happen for quite some time because figures globally aren't looking that good, but I think sort of domestic events will get going. So with that in mind, we've got two fantastic presentations, and also I'm going to be doing one which will show you a few different things. But we've got two fantastic presentations: Nikki from IHG Hotels, and Hannah from the Ned. So without any further ado, Nikki, I'm going to hand over to you to introduce some of the properties that you look after. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all keeping well. It's lovely to see you all, see some names and faces that I recognise, and lots of new people too. And I represent the 19 managed hotels of IHG, and today I just wanted to highlight really our 4 central London properties. I'm currently, well, I wish I was, sat in the garden at the Crowne Plaza London Secret Garden, which I'll tell you a little bit more about as we move along. To try and move along. Can everybody see the screen okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Lovely. Right. So first of all, I wanted to talk to you about the Intercontinental London Park Lane Hotel, which my colleague who's here today, Hannah, used to work there. So it's great. So I'm sure she'll be able to pick me up and correct me if I go wrong. This hotel is due to open on the 1st of September, and it's our largest property in central London. Very famous, very monopoly board location. I just wanted to highlight a couple of things about the hotel moving forward. We are hoping to open the 2 dining outlets at the hotel quite soon, and they've got 2 fantastic restaurants there. They have Theo Randall's, which is the fine dining Italian restaurant, and they also have Eyacanta, which is, there's a small logo at the bottom there that shows you, and it's actually a fine dining, a Mexican restaurant full of amazing artifacts from Mexico. Both of those restaurants can be hired privately or sections hired privately, so it's fantastic for small kind of dining events, either personally or for work, and with social distancing in mind. There's also a picture of Theo Randall's there and a picture of one of the fantastic suites at the hotel. The hotel has 63 suites and obviously caters a lot to international business. My favourite thing about the hotel myself is all the meeting spaces on one floor, and they have giant picture windows that look out all across London. So it's a really fantastic meeting space as well. Moving to the Kimpton Fitzroy London, which is our 5-star central London property in Bloomsbury, and used to be the Hotel Russell. If you've not visited it since it had its fancy makeover, then it's really, really worth a visit. Setting a stunning building. This hotel was closed for 18 months and completely renovated, and we peeled away all the kind of modern parts and found all the gorgeous historical parts behind it. And you'll see from some of the photos, it has my favourite hotel bar, which is the Fitz's Bar. I love the Great Gatsby in the 1920s, and this bar really reminds me of the Great Gatsby house with its ostrich feather and disco ball. Fantastic bedrooms, and also a really amazing ballroom. I think probably one of the nicest ballrooms I've ever seen, because it's so beautifully decorated, and it also has natural daylight, which is fantastic for London. Here we have the Burr & Co coffee shop and restaurant, which will be opening soon, and it's very busy for people popping in, having small meetings, has an amazing vegan menu, and has great off-street entrance. This hotel is also the first hotel within our collection that has on-site green screen and hybrid meeting capacity, which has just been announced this week. There's a great little video on my LinkedIn if anybody wants to take a look. I'm now going to move across to our 2 Crowne Plazas in central London. Crowne Plaza as a brand is normally known for being quite corporate, and I think that this hotel in London Kensington bucks the trend slightly, so it's where I'm sat now. So this hotel has a fantastic Asian fusion restaurant. It's privately owned, and it also has the London Secret Garden, which is where I'm sitting. And you might see bottom right in the picture, the domes, which are proving they're always very popular, but at the moment they're really, really popular. They hold up to 10 people, and they can be used for small meetings, for private dining, for afternoon tea, for family occasions, and they sit within a large garden space. This is just a portion of the garden that I'm sat in. The other half of the garden is called the Grenfell Garden. The owner is quite a philanthropist, and during the Grenfell crisis, he housed some of the families in the hotel. The pods as well are named after iconic rock stars of the past, including David Bowie, Aretha Franklin, Freddie Mercury, and Prince. So that's really fun. So you can go along and book those either for a meeting. The rates are great. You can either have any kind of dining in there. Even Umami Restaurant will take dining outside there too. They also have a really lovely garden meeting room, which you might see here, which is the green room at the bottom. This room is completely designed and built. Everything in there is sustainable, environmentally friendly, and you get little packets of seeds to take away with you, so you can plant your own London secret garden when you get home. So this hotel, as I say, is right by Gloucester Tube Station. It is open at the moment and taking bookings for either personally or leisure.
How many pods are there, Nikki?
There's 5 pods. So you can either put them individually, and there is a wet weather option as well outside. So as you step outside the hotel, there's a covered bar area that's got lovely sofas and big furry rugs. And then you go out to the pods. So some of my clients have used them for trainings. They've had 5, 6, 7 people in each pod in breakout sessions, and then come out to the kind of undercover area for catering together, or you can do catering separately. And they're heated as well. They've got little mini, not real log burners obviously, but little mini log burners in all of them. So they're really, really cute. I've taken some clients in there and I absolutely love them. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just move on a second. If anybody's got any questions about any of these hotels, then my details are at the end, and we've got more information too. And this is Crowne Plaza, the city, which is right opposite Blackfriars Tube. This hotel is normally full to the rafters midweek with all of our lovely local corporate clients working in the city. And obviously at the moment, the offices aren't there, or the offices are there, the people aren't in the offices. So this hotel's doing some great leisure rates at the moment. So it's really, really central, and it's a great bedroom product. Here and open at the moment, we have some fantastic catering outlets. So we have, if you see bottom right, the little kind of greenery area. The hotel originally was a prison, a women's prison, and these are small cells outside. So we have something called the Leaf and Cane Bar, which is an underlevel cellar bar, which I'll show you a photo of in a moment. And outside we have these little booths, like the cells, and they are from between 5 and 13 people. And again, you can hire those privately. So if you wanted to do something socially after work, or if you've got clients that want to get together and do something, you can do those in those booths. And they're lit, and they're obviously heated as well, and there's music in them. And there's a bar that serves inside to out. So it's a really, really fun space. We also have 2 other restaurants in this hotel, which are open and it's street level with great views out across London. On the left, we have 10, which is our fine dining Italian restaurant. And that has a private dining room at the back for up to 30 people. And we also have the Chinese Cricket Club, which is a fine dining Chinese restaurant. Now, Cane and Leaf is the picture bottom right with the kind of black and white zigzag floor. All 3 of the catering outlets at the Crowne Plaza of the city can be hired privately. So, for example, Leaf and Cane, put my teeth back in, can be hired for anything from Christmas parties to summer parties. And there's a minimum spend charge, which includes all your food and catering. So it's a really, really great place to be. And the two restaurants as well can be hired privately. So that's just interesting at the moment with everything that's going on. And we also have the City Lounge as well, which is a really funky kind of coffee bar area. So lots going on at that hotel. I just wanted to talk very briefly about some of the changes we've obviously made, which there's more information on our website, or I'm happy to send it out to you individually. We have the IHG Clean Promise, which is our kind of deep cleaning policy post-COVID, which we have per brand, which I can send out to you, which includes all the usual measures you'd expect that Guy was mentioning earlier as well. And we also have Meet with Confidence, which is a separate website which shows you how we're intending to operate our meetings by brand again. And we also have capacity calculators at each of the hotel now that bear in mind social distancing, because obviously we have hotels in Scotland and in England as well. And we also have virtual tours, which I absolutely love them. While I was on furlough for a month and I was looking for somewhere to live, I spent a lot of my time looking at virtual tours of houses, usually that I couldn't afford. But I think they're a great way at the moment if you can't get out of the office, or if you have a travel ban in place but you want to have a look at one of our properties, you can actually go in and tour around each of the areas, and you can walk as if you're walking through, and they're really, really useful. Obviously, nothing takes place of meeting you guys, because that's what I love to do, and I love to have you into our hotels, but it's great in the interim. I want to talk a little bit about treat yourself, because I think we could all do with a bit of that after the last few months. I've finally got my hair done, which is great. So after 5 months of doing it myself. So there's some great offers for the PA Club members, which we're really pleased to extend. So just going back to the Crowne Plaza of the city and the restaurants we were talking about, they're offering a 15% discount on all their bars and restaurants within the hotel for you. And they're also offering an Eat, Stay, Repeat, which is, I was mentioning, their great leisure rates. So if you wanted to come into London on leisure, or if you're working, you want to stay overnight or having a night out, then it's from £159. And for that, you get a £75 bounce back of vouchers that you can use within the hotel restaurants. Crowne Plaza London Kensington. There's 30% off afternoon teas for groups of 3 or more in the London Secret Garden, which is a really nice treat, and I would love to do that myself. And we also have a staycation family package. The hotel has a lot of double rooms, which I've showed you in the picture there. So obviously it could be for friends, or could be for if you're in your bubble, obviously, I just wanted to put that out there, or it could be for, you know, for families to come along. And if you take a family room, they will include free breakfast for all the family. And finally, get excited, woohoo, it's competition time. I really want you to come and see the London Secret Garden. Would you like to win tea for 2? So if you can name one of the iconic music artists that have a dome named after them at the Crowne Plaza London Secret Garden, then we'll be really pleased to invite you in for afternoon tea on us.
Nikki, that's fantastic. Thank you.
And that's just, thank you so much for listening to me. I know it was very brief, but I know we've got a lot to go through. If you've got any questions, please do get in touch, and I'd love to tell you more about our venues. And thank you so much for logging in and for your time.
Nikki, thank you. I think I love the bubbles in the garden. I think they're
they're really popular, and they're of the moment, which is why I talked about them a lot, just with it being the summer and with social distancing.
And I've walked past the Crowne Plaza I'm going to forget the name, with the women's prison. I never knew that was a women's prison.
Yes, yeah. I didn't know that either until I wondered what the cells were doing there, and that's when they explained to me what it used to be. I think it's been several things since.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Thank you very, very much. Now I'm going to just talk, I'm going to share my screen. Having watched people do this for weeks. now I'll try and do it myself as a slideshow. Play from start. Oh, come on, slideshow. Right, there we are. I hope you can all see that. I wanted to briefly introduce you to Leading Venues of Britain. We, Leading Venues London, and also the PA Club, obviously we all represent venues outside of London. And I thought this was an opportunity to just show you a few of the properties. I'm focusing on non-hotel properties, which are sort of wonderful to do events in. And obviously we have a much larger portfolio of these, but I'll talk you through a few of them. And I think what we're going to see now is what I might say is a real sort of venue porn, if you follow that. So I'll start off. These are a few that we represent. This is Kirtlington Park, just north of Oxford, between actually Oxford and Blenheim, and a fantastic Palladian mansion with capability brown landscaped gardens, has a dining room that can seat about 160 people and can do residential it has 8 rooms that are utterly fantastic. I mean, some of these properties I'm going to show you now, I would sort of term as for sort of very much sort of, if you were looking for a sort of corporate Camp David, where sort of a high level meeting that people want to get away from prying eyes, they don't want to be in a hotel environment. I think they're truly, truly wonderful environments to go to. So that's Kirtlington Park. The family do live there, the Buxton family, but will vacate if people want to come and stay. A truly wonderful. And also, if you wanted to do corporate glamping or sort of, or just a day meeting or a company fun day in the future, the fantastic venue for that. Then we're going on to Blenheim Palace. I mean, you'll all have heard of it. Hopefully a lot of you have been there. Can do dinner there for about 300 in one room, which is exceptional. I mean, although there's a lot of very large country houses out there, there's very few that have a room that can accommodate that many people. Truly, truly breathtaking property where Winston Churchill was born, homes of the Dukes and Duchesses of Marlborough, and again, within easy shooting distance of London. This one, Headset House, really, this is just out by Slough, which doesn't make it sound very glamorous, but it is a wonderful house. I think they've got 12 bedrooms that one can take out. If you've got people coming into Heathrow, they've got a ballroom that can seat about 150 for dinner or lunch or do a conference there, lots of grounds. Privately owned, the Shepherd family, but no one lives in the house. So really exceptional property there. Cowdray. This is, I think, down in West Sussex. Cowdray Park is utterly fantastic. Inside, this house is like Xanadu. It is so lovely, I can't tell you. It's got about 30 bedrooms. The family don't live there, but it belongs to the Milford Havens, and it is available for private hire. I mean, obviously the price ticket on some of these is quite high. I mean, I think this is about £25,000 for a weekend, probably a bit less in the week, but I tell you, it is gorgeous. It's even got a bowling alley in the basement at Cowdray Park. It is fantastic. Holcombe Hall, further afield, out in Norfolk, again, fabulous house. They've actually got an orangery there that you can see just sort of beyond on the right-hand side. You can do dinners in there. Obviously, they do a lot of weddings. A really, utterly fabulous property. But if you are on holiday, going up to Norfolk, I recommend you visit this house. It is really lovely. This is Castle Ashby in Northamptonshire. They've also got a walled garden where you can do marquees, but I mean, the estate is about 20,000 acres. There's so much land. And they sort of took it off the market for events for a while. There are about 30 bedrooms that one can hire, and I think that'll be coming back for use in the future. it's really well located for businesses to do something if they're sort of got people coming from the north, the Midlands and the south of England. It really is right in the middle of the country. Fantastic property. Brocket Hall, that's just north of London, was the home of Lord Palmerston. He actually died on the snooker table there. It's got two 18-hole championship golf courses. It's very much commercial property. I don't know if you know the stories, but Lord Brocket was sent to jail for 5 years for fraud. He buried the engines of some of his Ferraris in the ground and actually got on court on an insurance claim. I think he then went on to sort of get me out of the jungle and various things like that, but he lost that fabulous estate and property. But it's got about 60 rooms in buildings around the estate where you can do events. It really is beautiful, and also wonderful for golf days. And that's sort of me just sort of showing you a few properties that we represent. And I say, if you want sort of a non-hotel environment, and want to sort of get the splendor of the sort of English heritage, there are so many of these properties and more of them coming to the market. I'm just talking at the moment to a place called Benham Hall, which used to be a pharmaceutical headquarters. Fabulous house down near Newbury that a Chinese billionaire has bought and is doing 16 suites in this building. When I went down 2 weeks ago, I mean, there are 85 workmen on site working there. It'll have private cinemas, gyms, everything. I mean, really top level sort of escape sort of places for corporate events. And so if those sort of needs come across your desk, please fire in the questions and we'll try and put you in touch with the right people. So it was a pleasure to show you a few of those venues, but enough of that. And actually, if you can tell me who was the Prime Minister that lived at Brocket Hall, we will send you a bottle of champagne. So we'll fire in your questions on that. Now, returning back to London, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Hannah from the NED, who's going to show us a little bit about this most remarkable property. Hannah, over to you.
Hi, well, good morning, everybody. Well, after two fantastic presentations and some amazing properties, I've no pressure, right? So I'm just going to share my screen with you all. There we go. Can everybody see that okay?
We can, Hannah. Thank you.
Fantastic. So the NED, yes. I don't know if many of you have heard of us. We haven't been around for too long. We actually had a rather quiet birthday party in May this year. It was our 3rd birthday. We normally like to celebrate our birthdays in pretty big party styles, but we had to we'll have a bigger one next year, let's just say. But just so you all do know, the NED is open. We opened on the 4th of July. We're partially opened. We have got a couple of our restaurants, which I'll show to you on the presentation, which ones are open. We also have a private members club because the NED is partnered with Soho House. I'm not sure if many of you are familiar with them. And they're a private members club, so we have that element within our building as well. And then our events floor, we are working to get officially open. We're really hoping for September, but we're still working through it all as we speak. As you can imagine, there's quite a lot to digest, but we're optimistic we can get there. So I'll keep the teams at LVL and PA Club all up to date on when we do officially open, just so you know when they go. But if you do have anything for August, just let me know, because we are running ad hoc events on certain days as well. So without further ado, let's go into the NED and have a little look. So we are a city hotel. We used to be the Midland Bank, so back in the day, and we were designed by a gentleman called Sir Edwin Lutyens. He designed quite a few famous buildings, a couple in Manchester, around the world, and his nickname was Ned. So that's where the name comes from. So a fantastic location. Hold your breath from Bank Station and you're into the NED. but you've also got Moorgate and Liverpool Street and Cannon Street just around the corner, so perfect for transportation. As we go in, and that's the outside, so you can see it's got that lovely old bank feeling. So when it was the Midland Bank, it operated as their headquarters, and then later on it changed to become HSBC. Not sure if anybody ever went there, but it was HSBC's headquarter until 2012, and then it was derelict for a while, and then we opened 3 years ago as the Ned. I mentioned we've got two partners. One is Soho House, the private members club, and the other one is the Nomad. They are an American company based mainly in America, but they will be opening the Nomad London in December this year, which has got some fantastic space and looks absolutely gorgeous as well. So hopefully when more to come on that one, you'll get to see it in the flesh in December when we're back to normal, when we'll all probably need a few drinks. So we actually have at the hotel 9 bars and restaurants on our ground floor, and this used to be the old banking floor. So as you can see, it is very grand. We've got 92 of these green verdite columns, which is a special stone from Africa. As it was headquarters back in the day, they didn't spare a penny on the building, which is very lucky for us because now we have this beautiful playground. The restaurants that are open, we have Millie's, which is this one here, and that is our, can you see my mouse moving? Does that help?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. That is our British Brasserie, and that one is currently open, and that's the bar there for it. Then we have, sorry, that's Cicconi's. I haven't been there for a while, forgetting which restaurants is which. This is Cicconi's, our Italian restaurant, which is a Soho House signature restaurant, and that is also open at the moment. Then we have the Nickel Bar, the house bar, which is serving seated drinks, as we're not allowed vertical drinking, the new term we've all coined. And then we have Lutyens Grill here, which is a really nice steakhouse, and you can privatise this. So you can privatise this for 30 people, it's semi-private, there's a curtain that separates it, or you can do it for 60 people private hire. So really nice space, it's becoming more and more popular for private hires. Then we have our little Californian restaurant, which is Malibu, very sweet, really nice, healthy food. Cafe Sue is our little French Parisian cafe, and you can also do private receptions in here. Now, I know you're not meant to have favourites, but Kaya is one of my favourites because it is all sushi and I absolutely adore it. So Kaya is open at the moment to the public as well. And we have a little martini bar, which is called the Library. So if you do book the Lutyens Grill, you can then have this area as a little private drinks area before you go in. Really sweet. So at the moment, just to recap, and Zobler's, which is our New York deli style. So at the moment, just to recap, we've got Millie's, Kaya, and Cicconi's open to the public. So 3 of them are currently running. Bedrooms wise, delighted to say we are fully open on our bedrooms, and we are welcoming any groups that are coming in at the moment. In fact, we had our first group back just last week after coronavirus, which was very exciting for us all. But we have 250 bedrooms spread over between the 1st to the 7th floor. We start with our cozy rooms, and the cozy rooms are really beautiful, queen size beds. The pictures really speak for themselves, and you'll see at the top tells you how big they all are. And medium rooms. Now, when we price groups, we typically price you in the cozy rooms, but you can opt to upgrade into medium rooms as well. But you can just see they've all got a really lovely, unique style, really nice, warm, homely feel to them. All these bedrooms back in the day, they used to be offices for their headquarters. So they've all transformed into bedrooms. They've all slightly different style, slightly different look, shape, which makes them more unique, and people do tend to find their favorite bedrooms. But you can just see once you head into our large rooms, you start to get the freestanding bathtubs, the fantastic 4-poster bed comes in. These are beautiful rooms. The characters showing through are really great. We then have the 5th floor, which houses our heritage rooms and grand heritage rooms. And this is where the chairman and his board of directors had their office. So a very special floor. And I've heard a rumour that apparently, depending on the chairman's wife, she was allowed to decorate the corridors at the time. So the corridors would change every time the chairman changed the colours. Apparently once it went turquoise blue. I'm not sure on that story. But as you can see, they're gorgeous. And this is very influenced by Soho House style. If any of you have been to a Soho House before, it was all designed by them. We also collect a lot of items from vintage shops, so you can see there's lots of unique furniture throughout. Then we have about 10 suites at the hotel. The terrace suite is one of my personal favourite. It does have a gorgeous big terrace, which you can see down here. That all-important outdoor space at the moment. And we actually have done an event on there before, so never say never to that. The duplex suite on the 6th floor, which is where our events floor is. And this is actually a great room to show you because this can be used for private meetings as well. Works really well. And you can just see all the different styles of bedrooms we have. And then finishing up with the Luton suite, which is our main suite there, which is 2 bedrooms. And again, has a lovely space on the 7th floor. So events floor, we are very lucky to have a whole 6th floor dedicated to events. And there's a little map for you there so you can get a good feel for it. So we have the elevators that take you straight from the ground floor, which then will take you up onto the 6th floor. As you come onto the, so these elevators here, sorry, which are essentially the hub to the building. As you come in here, you have a registration desk, and then you have all the different meeting rooms around. Now you can privatize this whole floor as one, or we can divide the rooms down into 6. We also have 2 fantastic outdoor terraces. Now back in the day when this was a bank, this was the chairman's meeting room. So all the rooms have an historical relation back to what it was back in the day, which I'll show you as we go through. You also have your private kitchens up here and a private cloakroom and private bathroom. So it's really self-contained. Once you're on this floor, there is no reason for anybody to go anywhere else. You can keep those delegates right where you want them. So as we go down, our largest room is the tapestry. Now, all the capacities you see here are pre-coronavirus days. Fingers crossed we can go above 30 post-October, and if we do, and we still need to do with social distancing, we'll be looking at 72 people theatre style maximum in here, with about 60 for round. So still a good size room. The tapestry was very famous. As you can see, it's got the beautiful tapestries all around it, and there are 120 coat of arms, and they all represented the places that the Midland Bank were represented across the country. And this was where the chairman had his meetings back in the day. And you can see all the capacities down there. I will share with it, we can send out all the capacity, the brochure, so you can all have this to see. So the saloon, a beautiful room, which is often used for meetings, dinners, lots of weddings in here as well. And this was where they had their lunchroom back in the day for the boardmen. So quite a nice place to have your lunch. And at the moment with social distancing, we're using this room a lot for up to 30, because that seems to be the perfect number in here. We can actually do 35 on rounds and about 30 on a long table. And if that all gets a bit lifted, we can go up to 48 theatre style, still with social distancing in place. Then we go down to the drawing room, which is actually adjoined to the saloon. So again, a great room if you've got your meeting in the saloon and you want to have a private area for breakout or your catering. Gorgeous room, which can go up to normally about 30, but I think we're currently about 20 with your social distancing in place. Just so you also do know, with the current guidelines, all meals do need to be plated from our side, but we're working to create some special menus for you all, so that's all taken care of. And then we go, and this was actually the cigar and brandy room, because of course back in the day after the lunch, the men would go and have cigars and brandy because they didn't have much work, I don't think, back then. Then we go to the RWB room, which is where the chairman of the bank would have had his own lunch, so his private space here. And this is a really nice room for private meetings and dinners. It also has a small ante room. And 2 smaller rooms, which the Rose and the Wren room, which are great for breakout, office, small ones and dinners. Typically go up to 10 people. At the moment, we're looking at about 4. All the rooms have natural daylight and their own air conditioning units as well. There is no AV built into anything apart from the Rose and the Wren. However, we do work with an AV company and they can provide everything you need, especially when you're talking about now maybe having the virtual call-in and conferencing, so we can cater for all of that. And of course, the 2 most popular spaces have to be the outdoor terraces. So we have 2 fantastic terraces. One overlooks the city and one overlooks St Paul's, and these can be privatized for events if you're booking the larger event spaces. If it's short lead, we can do it individually. They also have fantastic awnings. Typically you can go up to 70 people in normal times, but at the moment we're probably looking around the 30 mark. We do hire these out at the moment. We don't hire them for just drinks at present. It's you can have drinks on here providing you have your sit down lunch or dinner with us. But again, I think we're all working in a very changing world, aren't we? So never say never anymore. And on the 8th floor, where we have our members club, we actually have a dome, and these were original parts of the bank, but back in the day they had no floor. They just looked straight down to the bottom of the bank. And the Princess Dome is stunning. It has its own terraces, and it can hold normally around 25 people. At the moment, with social distancing, we're looking between 7 to 14, but a gorgeous space with a wraparound terrace. So again, you've got that outdoor space. Now, I said we had a members club, so just thought I'd treat you to have a little peek into the members club. If you have anybody you work with or yourselves fancy becoming a member, let me know and I'll introduce you. But we have to the members team, that's a separate area, but we do have the stunning rooftop, which is very popular. As you can imagine at the moment, everyone is enjoying it, and it has its little, it's a pool, but I'd say it's a plunge pool really. And that sits at about 32 degrees all year round. You can even see the steam coming off it in that photo. It's lovely. I have to be honest, actually, I haven't been in that pool, but a few of my team have ended up in there. So it is a good fun, a good party atmosphere up here. And then downstairs we have the famous the vault. Now the vault is only for members only, but it is a stunning piece that we have at the hotel, and it's just something quite unique. So again, if you know anyone who wants to be a member, they can have access to this area and the long bar as well. Now we also, if you have anybody staying over or any groups, we do have a fantastic gym, spa and pool, and hairdressers. The hairdressers are of course open. The spa is currently open and the pool is open. The pool is by bookings only, but hotel guests and members can use it. I believe the hammam is still closed at the moment. But again, it's changing daily. And of course, a fantastic gym, which is one of the largest gyms in London. Really great gym. And before coronavirus, we did also run classes. So those staying at the hotel could go and join some classes, but I believe they've all stopped at the moment. But you can see the spinning studio down there. So there's lots to do at the Ned. Whether you're coming for a meeting, drinks, dinner, party, whatever you want to come for, we won't judge. There's lots to do and plenty of things to see. And the good news is we are open. So anything you need, let me know. We'll share my personal email address, my details, but we'd love to welcome you and try and get back to some form of normality. So thank you.
That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you. I think the Ned is just out of this world. And when I go through, you know, you just walk in there and you go, this is so much better as a hotel than a bank. It is utterly fantastic. It really is very special. And thank you for that. So I think Nikki and Hannah, thank you so much for sharing. I think, you know, the hotels these days are just on a different level, aren't they? And they're innovative, they're clever. It used to be that, you know, sort of hotels were sort of, you know, the much for muchness. And now they're all so individual, clever. The dining inside them is unbelievable. The bedrooms, I mean, just getting to a standard that, you know, is unbelievable. So, but it's lovely to see them, and obviously they're well situated. So thank you very, very much for sharing that with you. I'm going to hand over to Michael and Charmian just to see who we've the winner of the 2 lucky prizes. Who are the winners, Michael?
I shall let you know in a second.
Oh,
just
right,
a couple of other things to little bit of housekeeping. At the very beginning, you asked about what the timings people would prefer, whether it was going to be 11 o'clock in the morning, whether it's going to be an evening continuation. I think we haven't had masses of replies, but so far this kind of time seems to work for people.
Great.
So let's look at carrying that on.
Yeah.
One little bit of housekeeping from the PA Club. We're very proud to be presenting down the line on the 11th of September a virtual conference via Zoom. And I won't take the showcase space too much, but we have got a fantastic day planned, and it's the future of work. It's going to take into account working from home, if that's got to be the case still. It's going to take into account safety factors, working in the office. Tech is going to be a big part, CV clinics and so on. And we want everyone to consider attending that conference. We'll be sending out information about it. There's an early bird which closes this week. And of course, the recording is of huge value. If you can't actually make the day, then if you do sign up for it, you can get a recording of the entire conference. So that's our plug. Now we have some winners. And first of all, your bottle of champagne. We'd like to announce the winner as Abigail Charkham. So all big round of applause
Well done,
for Abigail. And for the
That's very kind.
Oh, well, good.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Pleasure. And the tea for two in the secret garden, Nikki, the secret pod. The winner is Claire Halford. Is
Well
she
done,
here?
Claire. Thank you.
And one more thing, Guy. We had one comment or request from Andrula, in particularly addressed to Nikki's presentation. Can we have a copy of the slides? Well, we're going to give everybody Nikki's email address, and everyone, of course, the Ned's email address too. So you can, and the recording, yeah. So all you've got to do is make sure you put in a request direct to Nikki. I'm sure she'll be delighted to send you the slides so that you can share those special offers. And next week, we've got some more wonderful venues to talk about. We'll be in touch about that shortly.
So thank you, Michael. And yeah, do please join the PA Club on the conference on the 11th of September. It sounds fascinating, and we can all learn. You know, there's always more to learn. So I look forward to seeing you at that. I'll definitely log in. Thanks very much for coming, everyone. Thank you to our presenters. Have a very good week, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. But we'll be sending out who will be presenting towards the end of this week. So thanks so much, and cheerio, everyone. Bye.